This episode of Around the Oval is brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage.
Hey, Ohio State fans, Alex Gleitman here. Welcome back to another edition of Around the Oval, brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. Today, we have another special guest from the Ohio State 2021 recruiting class, Andre Turrentine, defensive back out of the Nashville, Tennessee area. Andre, thanks for joining the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, man. I know it's crazy times around the country right now, but it seems, at least at the high school level, that football is coming back. Just wanted to see, what is the latest status of your season? Are you guys playing? Are you starting on time? What are you guys doing right now?
So, a lot of people, well, I don't say a lot of people, a few teams in the state are starting on time. We're all playing. The teams that have decided they're not playing, they have not done anything but taking out their first two games. My school, the teams that we were playing, they're not playing the first two games, so we didn't pick up any games for the first 2 weeks. So we start September. We would usually be week one this week. Friday would be our first game.
So you're probably about 3 weeks behind right now then. How's the team looking so far? How are you looking?
We're looking good. I have a lot of confidence going into this year. We have a young team, but we have a good staff and a good leader support system that they listen and they do what they need to do and they do their job. So it'll be a lot of fun getting into this year. I'm just really excited that we get a chance to play.
Yeah, for sure. Hoping things stay as planned, that you guys get a chance to play and we get to see you play. I know it's been a bunch of months since, you committed to Ohio State, kind of back in the beginning of this whole coronavirus quarantine thing. Just taking a look back, you had offers from some of the best schools in the country. You're obviously from down in Tennessee and prime SEC country. Tell us, why did you pick Ohio State out of all of your options?
I mean, like, now that I look back at it, it's always like, why would I not pick Ohio State? I know I had really big offers in, this is SEC country or whatever they say, and a lot of people stay in the SEC and they go to the schools or go to state schools. A lot of my friends went to UT or just schools around here, the SEC. But to be honest, personally, I feel like I made the best decision to go to the best school that's going to prepare me in every aspect that I need to be prepared to become the player I want to be and the person I want to be. So Ohio State has a great coaching staff. I talk to them all the time. I like the people that they have there, and I like what they got, what we have going on. So I want to compete for a national championship. So I think we'll have the opportunity also. So I'm really happy with my decision.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say, are you 100% locked in Ohio State? Are you still talking to other schools? Are you thinking maybe you take other visits if things open up, or are you just strictly all Ohio State right now?
I'm 100% locked in.
Yeah, and I know you took the visit last year. What was it? I think it was the weekend of the Penn State game, right? I remember talking to you after that, and I think you stayed almost a whole extra day on Sunday hanging out with the coaching staff and bonding with them. I wanted to ask, how big was that visit in making Ohio State, move up your list and be the school that you ended up picking?
That visit, I don't want to say it sealed the deal for me, because I don't think that's what made me make that decision. But I went up there and I've never been there before, and it was actually pretty cold, and I can deal with the cold. So we went up there and I just seen all the stuff that they had, and just like how the coaching staff was, and they were just really down to earth. And it made me feel like I was one of their own. And I thought about that, and I thought about just like the game day prep they went through and stuff like that, and I could just see myself in that same position. So that visit was a really good visit. I think it was one of my favorite visits, if not my favorite.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that was, Coach Halfley was the DB coach, D coordinator back then, and then
obviously things changed with Coach Combs. He was coaching the Tennessee Titans. He was right down the
Mhm.
block from you basically
Yeah.
last year. You know, he came in, and I'm sure that changed things up a little bit. Talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Combs and how he was able to kind of build a relationship with you in such a short period of time.
So when I was at Ohio State on my visit, I sat and talked with Halfley for about an hour and a half, and we were just talking. And I really loved the way he coached the game, and I really like. Some people have just a style of coaching. I feel like my personality and the way that I play would match up really well with him. And so I instantly fell in love with Ohio State, and the DBs that we had there, crazy. So we started building that relationship. And when I found out he was leaving, um, the coaching staff, like Coach Alfred, Coach they were there like through the whole thing. They didn't leave me in the dark about anything. They told me everything that was going on. They were like, I'm gonna like the guy that's coming in, and they didn't tell me, but I had an idea of who it was. And when I found out it was Coach Combs, it was crazy because he's a legend. So I have a really good relationship with him as well. Like, we talk all the time, and I just like how he thinks and how he coaches the game.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure you've gotten a chance to speak with him about how he plans to use you in the defense and in the secondary. What has Coach Combs told you about, you know, what position you're going to play, what role you're going to play in the defense, how you fit in?
So he tells me that I'm gonna need to play early, so I need to be ready to play ASAP. And we don't really. He told me that I can play in any position in any spot on the field. So he just kind of moved me around and see what fits me the best or whatever the team needs at that time.
Are you comfortable with playing outside corner, slot corner, safety, like all three positions in Ohio State's defense?
Yeah, I think I can play any position in the secondary. So I'm comfortable with how I play and how Ohio State plays, and I'm comfortable with in any position on the field. I think I'm smart enough and I'm more than capable enough to play in any position.
Yeah, I mean, I watched your film. I agree. I think you're really versatile, and you could probably play all three positions. But what, you know, for fans who haven't seen your film or haven't watched you too much, tell them, you know, what are some of the things you do really well on the football field, and what are some things that you want to work on before you get to Ohio State?
So I think what separates me as a player is not necessarily like my athleticism. Yeah, I'm athletic, whatever, but there's a lot of players who are athletic, and that's where they are, and that's how they get to the point that they are at now. So I think that for me, it's like how I prepare and like how I see the game. I think I see it in a different way than most people. I think I'm like really good at playing the game, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of people, they think about like 40 times and like broad jumps and like vertical jumps, and they just care about testing how crazy a kid looks when he's in shorts and t-shirt. But I think that if you watch me, that you will really see like I can wow you at any aspect of the game.
Yeah, and you know, you're not the only talented player in this class. The 2021 class is
Mm-hmm.
the number one ranked class in America. Um, how big is it for you to be a part of the top ranked class in America, knowing that you're going to have awesome players next to you, in front of you, on the other side of the ball? Just how big is that for you?
It was really crazy. It's like it's a blessing to be a part of um, this class, and I think about it all the time. Actually, we have a really good chance to go to playing for a championship, and I think we will play for a couple, if not more. So I love all those guys, and we talk all the time. Can't wait to get up there and meet them more and meet their families and see how well we mesh together, because we haven't really had the opportunity.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I know you guys are on the group text and you guys talk all the time on social media and whatever, but without the visits, you guys haven't had like that one weekend to get out there and hang out. And so that would be cool for you guys to do that. I was going to say, is there any uncommitted guys that you're talking to, trying to recruit to Ohio State at all right now?
Um, I have one of my friends from when I was younger, his name is Jordan Dingle. He plays tight end. I'm trying to get him up there. I'm sure a lot of the other guys are talking to people that are in their area, but I don't really know anyone in my area that can
Yeah.
compete with those guys.
Yeah. Jordan's,
We're pretty full already.
yeah, for sure. And Jordan's definitely a kid that, you know, if they do take a second tight end, I know he's a kid they're looking at closely to how he plays this year. So,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll give you credit if he ends up a Buckeye, but, yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about is, this year's season. I mean, you're playing, but Ohio State isn't, which is kind of crazy. And, you know, when you heard the news that the Big Ten was going to postpone the fall or football in the fall to at least you know, maybe the winter or spring, what was your initial reaction?
I kind of really wanted to see how good this team was. Everyone's talking about how great this team is and how much they're prepared and how I feel like they were gonna. That's a national championship team. It sucks that they can't play, and I wish that I could see them play. But I kind of felt like a lot of things changed at that time. I need to step back and think about things. How am I gonna look at the situation? How am I gonna handle the situation? So I thought about maybe graduating early or staying, and it was just a lot of those conversations I had with my family and a lot of those thoughts. So I don't know, it kind of changed things.
Are you going to enroll early, or are you waiting to like May or June next year?
I think I'm waiting to May or June next year. My school, I go to private schools. It's pretty complicated. To graduate early is not as easy as it is other places. They've never really had a situation where someone had to graduate early, so I don't even know how they handle that fully. But I think that I'm going to stay, especially because we're playing football.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, a lot of people were nervous that if the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12 play and the Big 10 doesn't this fall, that it's going to be negative in recruiting for Ohio State recruits or current commits. Does that have any impact on you and your thoughts about going to Ohio State, or not really at all?
Well, I don't really understand like that statement, kind of, because like uh, um, it's not Ohio State's choice whether they'll play or not. So I don't think that takes anything away from the school. And if a kid is not enrolling early, which if they are and they're enrolling, they'll be able to play in the spring. That's what I've heard. So I don't really know how it would negatively affect our recruiting because it's the Big Ten decision, not Ohio State's. Now I understand kids may like see it a different way, but that's kind of, I guess, how I see it. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make a difference to me personally. It might to some other people, but I don't really think so. It makes a difference to our class. We're just all ready to get up there, and it sucks for the 2020 class and the guys that are in there right now, but I think that it won't affect us too much.
Well, definitely, Andre. That's what Ohio State fans like to hear. I certainly agree. It's just interesting, different perspectives around the country. That's really all we got for you today. We appreciate you jumping on the show, and you know, we wish you the best of luck this year and look forward to covering you when you get to Columbus.
Yeah, thank you.
This episode of Around the Oval was brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. If you've been thinking about refinancing or buying a house, check out our sponsor, Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. They offer low rates for refinancing and home purchase loans, including first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance, and cash-out home equity loans. Check out revolutionmortgage.com/tpennington.